What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Thanks for checking out Shin88 Gaming, and welcome back to Minecraft Survival Season 2. Well, it's been a little while, as it usually is. Since I'm not a Minecraft channel per se, I tend to do these episodes relatively few and far between. But I think that it's time for another one. New update has just come out, and I've got an idea for something we can build today. So yeah. Really quickly, although I haven't been doing episodes of this, I do tend to use Minecraft as sort of a podcast game, so I have been playing it off and on in my spare time. And I've done a little bit since last time, so let's take a look at that really quick before we go into the actual project for today. So, if this is your first episode of the series that you've watched, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised by that, because like I said, don't do these very often. But at the beginning of Season 2, I found this woodland mansion, took it over, and since then have been sort of expanding out. There was a village on the side, and this little city that I built in here. Since last time, what I've done is I've actually redone all the ceilings and floors. I've added some additional texture, I guess would be the best way to put it, by changing the colors of certain blocks, and generally just tried to make this mansion a little bit more unique and not completely vanilla. We'll go ahead and explore a little bit here. I devoted an episode to this little museum sort of area. We have our nether entrance, our teleporter room that uses a command block to teleport me back to Season 1 area. I'm actually like 18,000 blocks from the spawn, the original spawn, which is where I did Season 1. Here's the entrance to the mine. This is the little Zen garden that we were in a moment ago. Bathhouse. And then I guess I missed just a couple rooms here. There's the enchanting room / library. And the storage room. Right about here. So let's go take a look around really quick. I'll show you a couple of the things I've been doing. So first of all, I switched a lot of the blocks around on the outside, added in some mossy cobblestone, changed this out from dark oak to spruce, and I think it looks a little bit nicer than just the default. Oh yeah, this is new. This weird tower thing. I always had the vague idea that I would put a tower or something on top of this, but I didn't really know what that might look like exactly. So I decided to build it out of deep slate, basalt, and amethyst. And then inside we've got a similar palette going on, but with some of this skulk. I actually recorded an episode where I went to an ancient city in the deep dark, but I realized that because every single person who does Minecraft has already done an episode exploring that stuff, it was kind of pointless for me to upload one, so I ultimately scrapped it. But we got a water elevator here. Takes us up to look out at the world. We're going to be going over there today for our project, but we'll worry about that in a minute. And then here, of course, is our village. I spent quite a while expanding this out. I think we devoted episodes to a few things here. We built the ship in an episode, and then we built this little gate in an episode, I think. Works well enough. So because we now have cherry trees, one of the things that I did was I went around and replaced these, hold on, azalea. I was trying to remember the name of them. I replaced these azalea trees with cherry trees. Now you'll notice these are not actually shaped like normal cherry trees because I tried that. The cherry trees grow a little bit too large for this small space. So I actually kept the azalea trees and just swapped the blocks out. I think it looks pretty good. Definitely adds a little bit more color to everything. This goes down to the mine, you know, the underground path that connects back to the mansion. So yeah, it's looking pretty good, I think. And of course I built this gate way back in the day with one on each side. we'll take a brief look at some of the other stuff. Not that much has changed since last time, other than the big tower and sort of filling in some more of the texture, I guess you could say, on the outside. Don't remember if this stuff was here. The little seating area and standing area. I need a couple suggestions, actually. So first of all, I need to know what should go here. I had this whole thing expanded out, but it was a little bit too much, so kind of trying to figure out what I can put there to fill the space. And then on the other side here, we got something similar going on. And I actually do need to know what would be good to put in some of these empty rooms. So the first floor is completely filled in. We're good there. But the second and third floor, I need a lot more rooms. And I don't really want to keep them just, you know, like the vanilla mansion rooms. I want to put something in them. I'm not sure exactly what, though. And then I also need a suggestion as to what to put here. I'm not exactly sure. I've got this here and this here, so it only makes sense that something should go here, but I'm not sure exactly what. Right now, this lantern is just sort of a placeholder, or at least it's lighting up the area so that monsters don't spawn. But I gotta say, I actually really like this palette of having the dark oak with the deep slate. This was a decent amount of work, actually, filling all this in. This is like some other kind of wood in vanilla. It's the light wood. Gosh dang it, what's it called? Well, anyways, it's the light wood. And I think this color combination looks pretty good. It keeps the mansion looking sort of dank and dark. But I've lit everything up using the lanterns, and I think it looks pretty decent. Kept that. But as you can see, I got a lot of empty rooms left that I've sort of cleared out, and so I'm not sure exactly what to put in most of these. My options are a little bit limited because I can't do like redstone or something, because underneath the floor it's just the previous floor. But if you have any suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm sure I'll think of something. I think that's mostly it. So we can probably look at what we're actually going to do today. So I had an idea. Well, first of all, let's go up here. So if you've been watching my channel for a really long time, and I mean like a really long time, like back in the olden days of Season 1, I always had this idea that I liked of connecting my world and the different structures within via minecart rails. So this is a relatively cheap and non-fancy sort of setup here. It's literally just cobblestone and wood. A few torches and rails, I guess. But I like the idea of keeping that going and kind of having rails and then also probably roads connecting all of my stuff together. So we're done with this. This was the majority of Season 2 has been this mansion and the village, expanding all that out, as you can see from the map over here. But now that that's done, I think that I'm good to start building outwards. And so I'm going to start thinking about that, especially now that we've gotten the latest update. The world generation's not really going to change, at least for quite a while. So I'm kind of ready. Oh, I guess I could show you my cherry tree hills biome. It's not the best, but it was enough to get me some saplings and get my own cherry tree stuff started. But I like this. This looks pretty good, right? Grew it just about right. But I'll show you the actual biome, because it's one of the saddest cherry tree hills biomes I've ever seen. I mentioned this before, but one of the ways that I continually upgrade my worlds to, or my world, I guess, to newer versions is by using a tool called MCA Selector. And what that does is it allows me to call unused chunks and regenerate them. So for instance, all this over here is basically new generation. The ocean has been there since the beginning, but if we go over here, you'll see that I got some cherry tree hills, or cherry tree hill. I guess it's like a single hill with some cherry trees on it. Not that impressive, but like I said, it was enough to get me you know, get me some saplings and let me start my own. My ancient city is just like over there, I think by those mountains. Didn't have to go very far for that either. Just kind of convenient. So what we're going to be doing today then is, first of all, I'm going to go back and turn it back to daytime. But I have this big mesa biome that appeared over here when I called some chunks. And I think what I want to do, I've got a big hill with kind of a cave that goes inside of it. I think what I want to do is start building that out as sort of a cave style base. And I have what I think is sort of kind of a unique idea. I'm sure someone else has tried this before, but it's just something that I sort of came up with. So let me go ahead and get restocked. I'll turn it back to daytime. And then we will take a look at what we're actually going to do today. So I'll be with you all in a moment. All right, so let's make our way over here. Oh man, this is going to be super loud, isn't it? It's okay, I'll change it in post. Yep, that's pretty loud. How's that? A little bit better? Okay, so let's make our way over here. I culled these chunks out, and this was really not the last update, but the one before. So I got this big mesa hill, and some other stuff that we'll see in a moment. And I had the idea to sort of build into this hill because there's a natural cave that kind of goes in and branches out. But I wanted it to be a little bit more interesting, so I think what we're going to do is try and dig out some of this mountain. That's kind of the extent of it right there, by the way. Unfortunately, I didn't get any of the cool structures like the, Bryce Canyon looking stuff. So I might build some of that myself over here. I think that'd be kind of neat. But anyways, when we come over here, you'll see that there's naturally this big cave here. And if we run inside, it's pretty expansive. We won't go over there for now. So I definitely have potential to build my own, like, sort of base in here. But I had an idea for something that might be kind of cool. And essentially that is that I want this cave to almost look like it's a giant geode. So I'll show you kind of what I mean. I've got a sample that I've thought of doing right here. And the idea would be to replace these terracotta blocks with amethyst and make it look sort of as if, well, like I said, there's a giant geode in the mountain. Now, that's going to take a lot of amethyst, so my plan is not to replace everything in here, right? Just like select portions. So there's that, and then I've got a couple other areas that I've sort of glassed off where it looks like maybe I could do something like that. And I think this will be kind of neat. The good thing is that if I keep it, kind of like this, I won't actually have to fill in too many blocks, because it's really only going to be those that I can see. So anything that's not visible will not have to be replaced, and that's kind of where the glass comes in. It'll give the illusion that everything within here is actually amethyst, but really it's only the top layer that you can actually see. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and try and build out this particular section and see what it looks like. That's fine. You might be wondering, do I actually have any amethyst? The answer is yeah. I've done a ton of mining, and this I don't think is even all of it. I just brought a bunch of it over here. I'm also going to need some calcite, and then we'll throw these clusters in to kind of light things up and make them look kind of cool, hopefully. You'll be proud of me because I never, ever remember to bring scaffolding with me, but I did this time. All right, so let's go ahead and take out the top layer here, and we'll probably do like 2 layers of calcite. You can already see where there's dirt. I did a little bit of terraforming of this terracotta stuff. But I think around the edge here, I think this will look good. And then we'll go down one more layer. Technically, I think I am going to be able to see that, so we will replace it. And we'll hop down here. I'm going to build out just a little bit of this and then probably do the rest of it off camera because it's not going to be super amazingly exciting. I did not bring any light, did I? Okay, that's fine. We'll just have to try and not get blown up. I'm going to try and do this a little bit quickly. I don't want this to be like 500 hours long. At least the episode. The building itself might be 500 hours long. We'll see. And it should be relatively simple, at least, because I'm just going to follow the natural contours of what this mountain is already doing. So I don't have to think super hard about, like, where is this block going to go? Where is this block going to go? That kind of thing. You know, I hardly ever use these stupid things. I'm still in the stacked dirt gang, I guess. They really are one of the best blocks that's been added. I just always forget to use them and then forget the most efficient way to use them in between sessions. And as you can see, I'm going to need a lot of amethyst to do all of this. Fortunately, I've gathered a ton of amethyst, but I don't actually have a farm set up yet, so I'm going to have to probably work on that. I mean, the good news is when I updated to the new patch a while back, well, the second to last patch, I actually got a decent number of geodes, like right underneath my base. So that's good at least, but probably want to find like multiple close together and use that in order to there we go. Use that in order to set up an actual farm. We'll see though. We shall see. So I'm going to go ahead and build this one all the way out to what is visible. And let's hop back up here and see how far down I can actually see. So you got to figure the glass is going to be one more layer. Some weird rendering error there. It's weird. So I'm going to at least have to go down to this layer, if not deeper. So let's do that now. And then I'll start working my way back up. I guess on sort of the plus side, I can start gathering some of my terracotta for the later terraforming. And then, of course, here, you're not going to be able to see that from the top, so I don't actually need to fill that block in. And that's where I can save a decent amount of materials, I think. This I am probably going to need to do, though. And then the clusters I'll probably just place somewhat randomly. to see that from here? Maybe not, but I will be able to see this. Alright, let's go get a little bit more. But how's that looking so far? Whoops. Definitely gonna have to go back and grab some more calcite. That did not go as far as I thought it was going to. Okay, okay, not too bad so far. Oh, whoops, that was like that, wasn't it? So I can break that one because I won't be able to see it. I was going to try and do a couple of these, but I think I might just do this one because we're already at like 10 minutes of this. It's going to take a little longer than I thought. So probably I'll cut, build out several more, and then come back with you afterwards. Okay, we got to get this here. Alright, then we gotta do we even have to do this part? Maybe not. I think let's leave that for now. Alright, let's put a few of these clusters just semi-randomly for now. I can come back and replace them in a way that makes more sense. But if we have a few of them kind of placed around in different spots, it'll make it look a little bit more organic, perhaps. Okay, so far so good, I think. Alright, I got a little bit more down there that I need to fill in, but actually is looking pretty decent. Let's throw the glass back on top. Okay, I actually think that looks pretty good. Let's back up here. So imagine we're coming in, and we'll see this as we glance down. Okay, alright. I think that's good. I wasn't sure exactly what this was going to look like. And then the idea would be to do the same thing like here, and then in some of those other glassed off areas, but also around the exterior. So let's jump around here. I'll show you a few of the spots that I had kind of picked out. So basically anywhere that there's like a cave on the outside, right? Like we got here. We got this little area down here. That might look pretty cool because we got actual water down there. That would be cool. Maybe. And then we got some other spaces over here. Over here. Up here. And I've explored a lot of these. A lot of them just go to nothing, which I think should be good. By the way, I haven't done anything with this village yet, other than just try to kind of light it up a little bit. I might try to do something unique with it. So far, the only unique thing about it is that there are a bunch of iron golems down here in the water. Good for them, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, that's kind of the idea that I got. I think that's going to look pretty decent. This one, by the way, ouch. This one loops all the way through to the outside, so I'll make a path down to the village there probably. But yeah, I think that's okay. let's take one more look at it, and then I'll go ahead and fill in a bunch more of these, and we'll be back. One suggestion that I do need as well, actually. I think that's good. I think it looks good. Kind of excited now. But one other suggestion I need then is a palette that I can put on the inside here, because I'm not just going to make the entire thing amethyst. For two reasons. One, I don't have that much amethyst, but two, I think that it'll be better to have a contrasting block. Like, I almost even think just deep slate or basalt or something like that, you know, would look good. But, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'll probably try some stuff in between episodes, and it'll probably be a while between episodes, but anyways. All right, let me go ahead and cut. I'll fill in a bunch more of these, and then I'll be back with you in a moment. See kind of what it looks like when we have a bunch of them. All right, so I got to say, I'm actually feeling pretty good about this one. We're not going to take the rails again. We'll just fly it. I think this actually looks pretty good. And again, relatively unique, I would say. Maybe not. Probably someone else has already done this a bunch of times, but hey. So, first of all, I decided that this glass looks better. But yeah. I went ahead and did just the entrance, because I think that's kind of neat. And then I'm going to do some other palette in here. Again, I'm kind of thinking deep slate would look good, but we'll see. And then here are just a couple other examples of it. And it doesn't, I mean, it takes a good amount of amethyst, right? But everything that's around that corner that I can't view is just the normal stone. So it definitely gives the illusion that there's a giant geode in here. And then here is kind of cool because we actually have it going in two separate directions. We can view it from here, but I can also come around to here. Got a little one here. And I can look up and see this one. It's kind of neat. And then I put a couple more in on the outside. Actually, what I'm kind of thinking now, and again, let me know if this sounds decent, is probably it would be cool to do this kind of thing periodically. So maybe you get in and it's all deep slate or black stone or something, and then periodically as you're walking through, like maybe from, you know, here to here or something, it would turn back to amethyst. And that would be kind of neat, perhaps. I don't know, maybe. But let's take a look at some of the exterior ones. I did the one with the water, and I think that one looks pretty cool. I might even just fill in some more water in some of these. But take a look at that. I think that's pretty cool. And then I did that little cave on the side over here. Again, not too many materials required for this one because everything behind that corner, just stone again. And then I also did the one up here. So I don't know, I kind of like it. If we go and kind of fly around, you can see the different spots where it's kind of sticking out. So there. Might even get to the point where I want to make some of my own, like, little openings and fill in some. There's a small one up here that I did somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it ended up. Yeah, here we go. But if I just have those sort of everywhere, I think it's going to look relatively neat. So I guess I gotta say, I'm actually pretty happy with that. And what I'm actually really excited about is the prospect of being able to finally start expanding outwards. I've been stuck in this little tiny area for so long because I was trying to wrap up everything here before expanding outwards. So, yeah. I'm not exactly sure what form the expansion outwards takes. Maybe in the near term, just kind of getting out and seeing some different biomes. because I had access to a lot more biomes in Season 1. Whereas here, I mean, I like having the ocean on the side there because it gives a sense of scale, I guess. But it'd be cool to have access to some snowy areas and such. So maybe I'll kind of expand outwards and I can just expand the rails out. We can walk back using this little path that I made here. So I do like the idea of having roads going in between. It just makes the world feel more connected, because it literally is, I guess. But this forest has been like doubled in size since I got here, but I like the idea of having the path cut through the trees. Oh, I guess this is where I could mention one other thing. So this is not really related to my series at all, but just a new mod that I found that I've been using, a performance mod. So for the longest time I was using Optifine, and I was getting okay performance, but there were some areas where I would drop down a lot when I was like in there with a lot of activity. Kind of think like a fishing docker here would be cool. But anyways, so I moved over to Fabric and Sodium, and now the performance is wonderful. I won't go to my F3 menu because it cuts off the right edge and left edge because of the way the window sizes. But I've capped the game at 120 frames, and I'm easily hitting that. Whereas before I capped it at that, and it would drop down to, 80 or 60 or something when I was in there, which is, I mean, 60 is great, but it's noticeable when it drops down, right? So Fabric and Sodium seems to be the way to go. Now, what I really want, actually, is there's another mod that I tried, but it wasn't entirely stable, and now it's not actually compatible with this version. That was the Distant Horizons mod. And if you haven't seen that, it looks absolutely incredible. Basically, it uses a level of detail map, and I can't show it to you because it doesn't work with this version, like I said. But it uses a level of detail map to basically render infinite view distance. So I could see, like, tens of thousands of blocks in that direction across the ocean and everything. Sort of using the same technique that, like, modern games use. However, it wasn't super stable, and the new version has not come out yet, but I would like to mess around with it because it completely changes the look of the game. I mean, I've got a pretty high render distance here. 26 chunks, but imagine, 1,026 chunks. And, right at the cutoff there, or wherever I put the cutoff, it's just sort of a static image. But quite convincing. I'm hoping that that gets updated and I can start messing around with that. But for now, I think that we're in a pretty decent spot. I'm ready to start expanding that cave out, and then maybe expanding out in another direction. You'll notice that I got the rails going out this way, of course, and then also going this way, although I don't have anything here yet. I'm definitely thinking that there's some sort of rail station or tower or something that goes here, and then you can walk into the village. But this lake has been here since the beginning. I originally had the idea to make this into like a hot spring or something. I think that would be kind of cool. And now we have cherry trees and such, so perhaps. But really, other than that, I have not explored outwards very much. We got, ocean into savanna. There's like a jungle over here. But yeah, I'm gonna have to keep going outwards, kind of see what we can get. The ocean goes relatively far over here. But right about here, we start hitting some larger islands. A little bit more ocean, and then there's like mainland over there. So we'll see. We'll see what I end up doing. But for now, I think we are probably going to go ahead and call it. Let's go back and take a look at our world map here. Ooh. So looking pretty good here. I think what I'm going to do is, yeah, put something there. Even if it's just a little... I was going to put a full rail station, but I don't think that necessarily makes the most sense. I think actually having a rail station in the mountain makes a little bit more sense. So maybe just a little structure there. and then the road going out to it. This is sort of naturally walled in by the mountains and forest and then the little lake here, so I don't know that I necessarily need to extend super far out that way. But possibly having, you know, the rail goes in this way and then also goes out this way. I don't know. We'll see. But I definitely like the idea of having this ocean on the side. It makes a natural border, and what it means is that I can go out and say, you know, somewhere beyond the sea, etc. Kind of nice. So anyways, that's about all she wrote for this episode. Got a good bit done, and I've got some other things that I can do now, so that's good. I hope you enjoyed this one. Like I said, if you do have any suggestions for those few things that I'm not certain about, feel free to let me know. We'll probably keep this still as a semi-regular series. I think there are a lot of other people who have more interesting things to say in Minecraft than I do. So I'll keep it to just when inspiration strikes, I guess. But until next time, I would like to thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. And I'll see you next time. How about until then? Until then, everybody, take care. God bless.